Good morning, here we are, new day. Well, this is where we were left on Friday, as you would have seen, if you've seen part 4 that is. And today and tomorrow it's going to be messing with the soil stack. So we'll have a go at that and see what footage we get. Sorry. This is where I remember from the last video where I put that timber in as a temporary measure to allow me to get access into that void. Sorry about the footage of my back, but I forgot to change the camera around. I'd got the saw pipe in at this point, and I was just making sure then I could get a bend on the end of the saw pipe up to the pan connector with enough fall to make our way out towards the corner of the building. So I know 4 inches now outside the wall. Work out where our 90's going and our boss T. Slip copper on the top of that one. Put those together. Toilet's all back in, fixed up, angle pan connector through the floor, all working well. Good morning YouTube, day 2, Harborne this week. That's done, got to put some brackets on it now. The store hadn't got any slip couplers, so we put that band copper on there, a bit more expensive, but what we're going to do now is we're going to try and divert that basin waste. And we're going to come out of there now with an elbow down through the floor, try and keep it as tight in the pedestal as we can to keep it nice and tidy, and then that eliminates another one. So to expose the bottom of that basin now, we're through the floor, we're just going to take out that bit of plasterboard and see where we are. Expose the bath waste, we'll put a piece of solvent well pipe in there now. Come across, fix it in that void. We've got one separate 1.5 inch for the bath, and then we've got one for the shower waste and the basin waste, which is now sticking out the ceiling. So what I'm going to do, same as the bath waste, I'm going to expose the shower trap, which you would have seen in a previous episode when I showed you in the scene, when I got the camera wrong. Yes, I know. So I'll cut this out and expose it, and then we can joint a new piece in there. Right, I can't even remember my own video or what it looked like, but actually, change of plan, I can't do it, because if you look where the nut is, there, where I'll have to undo to put the solvent weld in, it's actually that tight to the floorboard, I won't be able to guarantee I could tighten it back up again. What I'll probably do now is I shall put a universal elbow onto that pipe and then bring it this way. At least I can tilt it downwards to go through the end over there. And we'll run the solvent welder into 2 strap-on bosses outside to the saw stack instead. Plans change all the time. Make sure my 2 lengths of pipe are in line, run all the way through into the hole that Mick's done. And I'm just going to, these are all dry fit at the moment, just to check. Got my T, got my 1.25 reducer, and I'm just going to get my length on the bit of pipe in between from the basin waste. I need to turn down a little bit. Okay. 125mm there. These things I'm using are made by Ox, 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, took your plastic pipe, so much easier, really good. What I've done now is mark all my pipes so I know where they all are, and then marked on each one the position of where it's got to go back, because it's not necessarily exactly the same. part that we need to get right. All I'll do now is I shall undo that bracket again up there, take the universal coupler off, pull it out of that T, and then solvent that T in place now. A lot easier than trying to do it all at once and the compression, sorry, the universal coupler at the same time. Again there now, look, it's back on my line, so I know it's in the same place as before. I'll go back now and I'll put this universal coupler back on the pipe. And put the bracket back on. All the way to the end. I had to put a join in it, but mix outside. Just put the strap-on boss on, and now we're cutting this off to length, and we'll go into the strap-on boss, and the basin and the shower will be up and running again. What I want to do now is support all this with a bracket, and I've cut some rings of copper, put them in as a spacer, and screw them in. Make sure that when I put that bracket on, I didn't put any drop, rise or fall, as I say, in the pipe. Make sure it's as straight as possible, but still flowing out towards the saw pipe. So as you can see now, those 20mm coppers, I'll just put in there, just space it off just enough to keep the pipe flat, which you probably can't see from that, but it is, I can assure you, and still allows fall then all the way through, going out of our hole. Just while Mick's doing the core hole for this bath waste, took the bath waste off now, the push fit stuff off. I now made myself up the solvent elbows and stuff to get out, 90s, 45 sorry, and get the length of the pipe and we're good to go. Bath waste in, it's all in, just tested it. Didn't get a chance to film it because we're trying to get the blocks in for tomorrow, so we are in a bit of a tight doorway, as you've seen on the little short we did with Brandon trying to come through the door. It's quite tight, so that's all in now. That's all in. Not the prettiest before I get any comments, but the far one that sticks out is in the ceiling, and we were struggling a little bit to try and get the boss T into there, that round, and that in the same place, and try and get them all tight, as tight to the new ceiling as we can. So they're all good anyway. There's no leaks, we're all happy. So there we have it. All the waste's gone. All temporary foamed in, or insulated in for now. Good morning YouTube, day 3 here at Harborne. We've got 4 of us here today, or will be shortly. Just thought I'd do the video before everyone comes. We'll be getting that brickwork up today, now all the saw pipe's gone. We can start putting that on. I think Adam has actually gone to fetch that lintel today, I believe. I'll stand corrected if he doesn't. Have a good tidy up again, and I dare say Ad'll be on with this block work. We have got to do something with those electrics now because they're in the way of the block work, especially the outside socket there. We'll see what footage we get anyway. The weather isn't the best. It's not cold, but it's not raining at the moment, so we'll see what we get today. So we can get this block work up. We're looking at this, whatever it is, today. So we'll have a quick look what we got. So, this bit of bead was actually fixed onto our wall. If you remember from part 1, I think I explained it in. We can't take that out. This is all fixed onto ours. This is obviously in, so we're going to go by the wall. I put flash band. They haven't even put a gutter bracket on. That's just flash banded together. Or gutter coupler, sorry. There's no gutter brackets at all on this. it looks like it's all been held together with this vine. But unfortunately, like I've said before in the video, ultimately it'd be down to us to sort it out. So I'm gonna have to try and get rid of some of this vine all the way down there, and then see where we are. I'm gonna have to use some kind of flash band of sorts to seal this back in. So we've devined and compo and everything else that was in this gutter that's already there. It's gutter inside a gutter. It's a new thing apparently. You put a gutter inside another one. So this is all flash banded still. So we've left it because it's going all the way underneath and got into the inside. It's all yeah, nice bit of insulation, bubble wrap. So all we'll do now is we're going to put some blocks on top of here, all the way across to this point. Make good this corner, because obviously after that, that's a void that's going to be at the back of our new wall, so we're not worried about any damp there. We're going to flash band on top of there into the gutter, and then we'll see whether we're going to come off there into the gutter, but obviously it's not ours, so we can't commit to that at the moment. We'll have a look once we've done and get that as watertight as we can for now, and we may need to do more later on. Hey up, mix on the troll today. Adam's up there, look, doing the cut up. So he's going to build this up and then set the lintel on the top of that, and then do the cut up to come down again. We shall see. Dare say by the end of the day that'll mostly be done. So Mick has jumped on the trowel to do the block work on top of the wall that won't be seen. I'm not saying anything, but that's what Mick's doing today. Look at that. Blocks are all done.
Right, just to show you how we've put the cavity tray in. It's lapped up onto a top of the first course of blockwork, and then lapped down straight onto the lintel, and then we've just tucked up each end into the perp of the bricks as we go along. Just waiting for the weep holes to come in a couple of days.
Right there on top of the moon, we could sit and do nothing. I wish we were bold to just fly away. I don't wanna care, just be here and I'm good alone. I'll be okay, miss you like an old friend. Too scared now, thinking I should call up all night. I think it's hard how we always wait another day, how we watch things that kids walk away. Let's live down by the water, watch it come and go home. I wish we were bold to like sail away. I just don't wanna care.
Cut up's done. As Ad's already said, just gotta wait for the wheat vents to go in there, wheat poles to go in there. But yeah, other than a final brush up, that's looking good. Really pleased with that. Good morning, lovely day today. So, we are Thursday, Got the thermalights in last night with the last of the compo. The blockwork up to a point where we know we're going to be. All the rest of that now up to height, if I just walk around this way. The rest of it now, brickwork wise, which I think is higher than that, I'm pretty sure it is, because the lintel going on there first, for the and then over to the corner window. That's all going brickwork because it will be seen from next door, so obviously we're going to put horrible concrete blocks there. So from that point now, all up to there, up to a finished height, which I believe that is finished height now, so we're talking probably another 6 course, maybe 8 course, will all be done in brickwork. As I said, we did get the cut up done yesterday, you did see it, very nice. If I just go in here now, we got some of the thermalights in as well. It's all covered by the plastic that must have blown off last night, not to worry. So we got the thermalights in, we'll do those, rest get it all cut up. And tomorrow I'm starting a little bit of tin work up that corner, just to go so we can lead the soil piping, and then the glass roof then will come off my timber work all the way to this. And this will then be a parapet wall with a fiberglass coping stone, whatever in the corner. There is only me and Adam here today, so Adam will be carrying on with the thermalights and brickwork and finishing those the cut up thermalights I've just showed you. And I'm going to move that socket there. It's going to be moved from where it is over towards a doorway, so we can obviously get the thermalights up. If we don't move it, it's in the way. So that's my first job today. But first of all, any minute now, Adam will come. It's Sandwich Thursday, so we'll have a sandwich first and we'll crack on. Bricklayer silhouette to finish the day off. Last bucket of compo, thought we'd get the engineering bricks on the back there, just to finish the day off.
You have a lovely smoky voice when you're talking to the camera.
Had a bit of a bonus about an hour ago. Well, our lintels turned up, so that large lintel there is the one that will go across there, above what with the bifolds. And then the one that will go from here all the way around to form the corner window, from there to there, with a post from that corner up to it, also arrived, and that is here. And there it is there, all good to go. And the post is there, and the plate on the bottom. That was a bit of a bonus, 6 to 8 weeks. Not anymore, they're now on site. Good morning. Last day of the week. Despite heavy rain all night, it looks like it's brightening up. I do believe there's a bit of sunshine trying to get through over there, but we'll see. We have got the lintels, as you would have seen previously. I couldn't really film it when we were doing it because it needed all hands on deck, and we're dodging the rain at the minute. Lovely day, then it goes dark and rains, but these are on. The corner one just needs a little bit more a final adjustment, but that post that we cut there is our exact measurement now, 1720, transferred to our metal post that Mick's now got there, and we'll get it in today. That's all cut off now, and yes, I did use a 5-inch with a 1mm blade, not a big 9-inch or still saw, because I wanted to make sure that was as accurate and as square as you possibly could, because it's got to fit under there and take bearing on underneath that whole plate there, so it had to be nice and square. We couldn't afford to have it chamfered one end or not cut square. Corner seals on there, corner post. great. Ready for up to wall plate height on Monday. I am going to get the 2 rafters on there as well. We've got one on the wall and then one just this side of the soil stack. All that does, it allows us to lead around that soil stack properly, and then the glass roof will come straight through then. And I may even do a little how-to of how to mark and cut plumb cuts, seat cuts, and on the rafter, so we'll see where we go with that one. So we're up on the little bit of scaffold we've got now to put these couple of rafters on. 250mm from the wall, from there to there, and then rafter will go there, and then come to there, like that, on there, and then we'll put a sheet of ply on top, cut around the soil stack as nice and tight as we can, and that'll be leaded and drop down then onto the glass roof. Right, 250mm. What I want to do now is to show you how I set out a rafter. So first off, look down your timber. Can't really see it very well on here, but you make sure that if it's cut like that, you make sure that it always goes upwards. So you always crown up, so any weight goes on it then, pushes down and goes flat. You need to make sure with your timber length, which I have done, is long enough to go from that point all the way down, bird's mouth over the top of your wall plate, and then go over the external brickwork enough to catch any kind of fascia and soffit you're going to put on. In this instance it'll be quite tight because we're quite close to the boundary there, so that's what we'll be doing anyway. So that's actually 150mm. Your bird's mouth that wraps around there is always a third, or should always by rights be a third of this only, so 50mm. So once you know which is your top face, which in this instance it's this one, get your third, wherever it might be, like I've just said in this instance it's 50mm, and mark a margin all the way down, 2 foot, 600mm, all the way down, 50mm on the top edge, at the top of your rafter. This will make sense in a minute, I promise you. So that's it in orientation now, that's where I want it to be. And as you can see there, I've marked a 50mm line there on the top, all the way down, which is a third of my complete timber. Now what you do is, you get a bit of lath, in this instance like this, you fix it onto that face there, so it shows onto your line, like that, screw it on, and then hook it onto there like that. So this is what you're aiming for. Put your rafter against your plate, set this bit of lath then to the line, which is your third line, so 50mm in this instance from there to there, and sit it on top of there, which is where you ultimately want your roof to finish, the top of your plumb cut. So it'll be cut, plumb cut, and then go back down. And then your plumb and seat cut, your bird's mouth will go over there like it should, up and over there. To get your plumb cut now, all you got to do is put a plumb level line down there with a level, and that's ultimately your plumb cut. So with it still sat on there, get your level, mark it down level, which I've just done on there. That's your plumb cut. And if you are doing this yourself, you might want to get a speed square, or in this instance a levered arm speed square. It's already got plumb cut and seat cut marked on it, and even tells you which way to use it. Look, use top edge for setting. So that's plumb cut. So you set that on there now. Difficult to do one-handed. I'll check it in a minute. So you set that and you tighten that up. Take this batten off, you mark that on the top and you cut it off. That's your plumb cut, that's your start. You can use this now to run your saw against, so set your line and then run your saw, edge of your saw there, set your blade depth away and run it through to make sure it remains to the line, exactly to the line. There you got your plumb cut on the top. You now need to measure from that top point there longest point from the top of your timber there, right there, down to that outside corner, which is where your bird's mouth will sit on. That corner there, right on the outside. My length was 1630, so hook your tape right on the point there. Come all the way down to 1630, which is about there. But then what you've got to make sure you do is you've got to make sure you measure now from the bottom up 50mm, which is your third again, and mark a line like that. And then where the 1630 point there intersects that line is the point of your bird's mouth. So I've now marked 50mm up from the bottom to there. That's my 50mm mark. Now mark 1630 in this instance there to form a cross. That is your top of your bird's mouth. So now make sure with your square, if you're using one of these, that you orientate it the right way again. So your line's down, your plumb cut, and it's the same orientation as the one you've cut at the top. So I'll move it all the way back down now. And where you come to that intersection of the cross, there, strike your line. So with this one then, because it says seat cut on there, this is the one that sits on your wall plate that way. So you've just had it that way. Now orientate your square like that. Now you can see it won't reach the edge, but you can just turn your square around in a minute. So again, go to the same square or same cross that you've gone through before and intersected, and run your line through. Now if you run your line all the way through like that, you can then turn this round and use that to follow, so you can get it right the way to the corner like that. So then that is where your bird's mouth will sit. So your timber will now sit in there like that. So I thought I was filming me cutting that then, but I hadn't pressed the record button. So all I've done is I've cut that out. I follow my lines, make sure it's nice and square. If you go on a little bit with your saw, it's not a massive deal, but try and keep that limited as possible. Run to your line and then just finish the last little bit off with your handsaw. So plumb cuts up there now done. Bird's mouth on. I had to do a double bird's mouth over this brickwork, but wouldn't normally be there, but because of the situation of working and the neighbours, we wanted to get that finished up to finished height rather than to go back after. So you wouldn't normally do that because that brick wouldn't be there. You normally allow 2 course below wall plate, so you don't have that scenario, but as it is, I'll cut that one round as well. Not a massive deal, but that's it, as simple as it is really. And so this isn't a tutorial, this is just how I've always done it. It's always worked for me. Hope this is helpful. Feel free to comment. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Oh, just an addition. If you're now going to use this as a pattern, which is what I always do, always use the same one to pattern cut, because any discrepancies in your pencil or your saw cut, you're never going to increase it. You're only going to do exactly the same mistake every single time, if that makes sense. So put it on the top. Make sure it's flush with the top, because that's what you need to be flush, the top. Make sure it's all flush. And then just if you put little tick marks in there, like that, tick mark on there, and then use your square again, rather than using this again. Any discrepancies, you don't want to, make it any worse. So put little tick marks, you know where it is, and then use your square. I thought I might as well show this while I was up here. What we've had to do, we've had to fix that on the wall first. We have now cut those off to length because we're going to keep that fascia tight. 4x1, 6x1, sorry, on there, and then a very tight fascia because of the boundary issue. Screwed it into the wall. I've then cut this off at that point all the way down, recessed a bit out of it, and then put it back in so it's flush again and all apparently in line again as it is. And now we'll put this one back on our 250 mark again, which we've also cut off flush the same. We'll screw this in, and all I've got to do then, which might be last thing today, might be first thing Monday, is put a piece of plywood on the top of there, and that's just done then. We'll get a LED flashing, couldn't get the words out then, a LED flashing. We'll take that coupler off, we'll slide the LED flashing down, and it'll sit then up the wall, over the top, and then over the top of there. Make it nice and waterproof. So that little bit of lead roof's in now, or what will be. Not exactly easy to make sense of that at the minute, but it'll all become clear if you carry on watching. Right then, end of the week again. Quite a lot's been done. Hope you enjoy our video this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are doing this for a bit of fun really, as much as showing you what we're doing. Walk through, talk through. And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.